We must painfully go through all the 27. That's why we've taken time to establish the environment. I hope we are clear. We are not being petty. If we resolve this, we can drop almost 17 issues. But if we can't resolve it, we must go through 27 issues. Senator Marumu.
I already asked my question.
Chair, maybe.
Okay, Senator.
Now the governor should decide whether he wants us to drop Appendix 2B or we continue interrogating, because that is what the Chief of Staff said is a moving target, number one. Number two is on the schedule of employment benefits. I heard the CCM saying that this 98 million variance, the schedule had been provided. And I had requested from the governor, I really wanted to know who are these officers who are tied to His Excellency Office Governor that took away 26,121 plus, and staff that also took 26,551, that is coming to around 32 million plus, to officers that are unnamed in this schedule, because we must put money to the name. So 32 million plus of 98 million variation that has been raised by the OAG. And finally, Governor, on this 98 million, I have noticed most of the payments were to the statutory, and that will be my third question. Most of the payments were supposed to be statutory deduction. For the comfort of the committee, when you ended up paying this amount into the pension scheme like a CPF, like Club Fund, like ISPAC, KSG, KISIM, and others, the law is very clear that when you delay in statutory deductions, penalties will follow suamoto. So my concern is, were there any penalties or any interest that were attached to some of these statutory deductions on 98 million? So if you can answer on non-clarity of this 32 million that was paid to the officers in the governor's office and other staff, and then on the issue of this statutory reduction, and whether you want Appendix 2B to be still part of your documents for us to analyze. But if you are uncomfortable, you can apply for the chair so that we struck out, because it looks like 2.5 billion is now a moving target in terms of the pending bills. I yield back, Chair.
Governor, maybe a quick response so that we can make progress.
The first question on gratuity. If you look at the financial year in question, it's 2021 and 22. These are staff who are attached to the office of the former governor. They're retired and they're entitled to a gratuity. If this Senate committee wants the names of those officers, we can provide them.
I think on that, perhaps our concern would be if this is a claim that was filed in 2021, we are assuming that these were staff of the former governor. What are the reasons why you are still holding about 52 million due to them? Because the human thing, or the humane thing, would have been to settle and let them move on with their lives.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. His Excellency has asked me to respond on the question. First, allow me address why the moving target is Honorable Cherargei is referring to. Actually, it's not a moving target. I wanted us to bring a proper perspective to the issue of pending bills, and we have the Office of the National Treasurer here, and also we have our representative from ISPAC. Honorable Chair, we have a deadline of accrual implementation of up to next financial year. And our obligation is to ensure that we continuously verify accounts payables and accounts receivables, so that we can bring them to the face of the financial statement.
Just for Trans Nzoia, but for all the 47 county governments, I know people who are suffering, who served in previous administrations, and their gratuities have not been paid. It is unacceptable. We members of parliament, when you leave parliament, your gratuity is paid within 6 months or even less. Why should someone dedicate their service, time, and life? You people surrounding the governor, one day you'll be out of office. You will want to be paid your gratuity. Will it be justifiable for you to wait for 4 years? Because in this schedule, since 9th of June 2021, you have withheld 26 million as gratuity to county officers attached to the governor's office and withheld another 26 million as gratuity owed to other staff. Is this, even before we go to the financial and legal matters, is it fair to keep someone waiting for 4 years, having served the county government of Trans Nzoia, knowing that even you guys one day, because after 10 years, the governor will become something else. I don't know what they're planning with Sifuna, but after 10 years, you will not be working for the governor. Do you want to be treated in a similar manner?
Yeah, but they don't look like they have a plan.
It's very unfair, Honorable Chair, but I may demonstrate that we have actually commenced payment. What I was raising is that we were not able to pay because of the budgetary allocation, but two, we also...
No, officer and governor. I think you might need to take the mic because your officer is being simplistic. There are people who used to work in the office of the former governor. Weren't they entitled to gratuity? Was that a legal entitlement?
They were.
Yes, they were entitled to gratuity.
Yeah.
The date of their invoice is 9th of June 2021. Of course, the governor was not in office. What is wrong in terms of prioritization of everything else that you must do? Would it be governor, and I don't know why your officer is not getting this point, because even him one day will be demanding gratuity.
Mr. Chairman,
why should it take 4 years?
We get the point. The issue major is this, that money is deducted from an employee. This money is supposed to be remitted somewhere for payment of gratuity when they retire. The unfortunate bit is that money is not remitted. So when you come in office, an employee knows that the money was deducted from their salary, but was it remitted to the body that's supposed to pay them the gratuity? It wasn't. That's why now we're making a budget provision for it to pay, because the money was not remitted. Otherwise, if it had been remitted, the payment of gratuity would have been automatic, just process they are paid. But there is no money at the pension fund to pay them.
Whose responsibility was it to do the remittance? Because, again, control of budget, when salaries are requisitioned, isn't there a provision for that portion that ought to go into gratuity?
Thank you, Chair. When salaries are requisitioned, they are requisitioned as gross amounts, including all those deductions.
So, Governor, just put yourself in the shoes of that former employee. They have worked, they have committed, they left their professions. Maybe some of them were in Ngao like you. They came to work for the county, only to be told at the 11th hour that, I am sorry, someone misallocated your money, so we can't help you. And the person who misallocated your money, there's nothing you are doing about them. So you're just telling that employee former employee, wait until the day we have a budget. Let's put ourselves in their shoes.
Mr. Chairman, it is unfortunate because if you are paying this money, the expectations, because it's not your responsibility to follow where the money has gone. Normally it happens to you at the time you've retired and you want to get your gratuity, and it's not there. So really, it is unfortunate. I am alive to that, and that's why in my regime, we remit this money as we pay salaries. We do not have any arrears. We are talking about a problem with inheritance. I know you're going to tell me that governments are permanent and I must not take responsibility. That's why I'm not running away from it. I've taken it upon myself. I've not even asked where the money is. We're making a budget provision to pay this money, as then we go check where the money that was deducted went. Of course, the argument has always been that they were paying net salaries, and therefore there was no money that was being deducted to be remitted anywhere. So the money was not lost. Yeah, that's the debate that we've been having. To say instead of engaging in that debate and people are suffering out there, can we just look for money, put the budget and pay? And from 2024, actually, we've been paying. We've been paying these people.
So then what commitment are you making? Because it cannot be we are looking for a budget. Out of your 2.569 billion, can't you prioritize this 52 million?
Mr. Chairman, I'll talk about 98 million, which was a variance, and the list...
No. I've reduced it. Out of that 98, 52 million relates to 2 invoices
Yes.
out of the 98.
Can we give a commitment that we're going to give it a priority when we do our supplementary budget in March?
Am I misinterpreting it? Because gratuity means you know that your governor is going home, but you are confident that when the new government takes office, you will get something like, is it 31%, depending on the scheme? So this has nothing to do with lap fund or lap trust. This is an internal inefficiency. And I wish you would have met the people I've met who are complaining about these habits, and that's why I must insist that this must be separated from even the other lap fund or long-standing historical issues, because it's about individuals, human beings who are suffering for a mistake that was not of their making. Senator Cherargei.
I think, Chair, what we are saying is that looking at this issue of employees' benefits, and even with the pending bill, it is very important, because I know if we were to bring breakdown of the pending bills of 2.5 billion that has been provided here, you will find there are so many people and businesses, people in Trans Nzoia County who are being owed money, and it means a lot to them, Chair. Chair, what I wanted to say, and I think if the governor had provided the extract of the budget, we would not be shooting in the dark, because we are now using his word to say he partially allocated, for example, on the 98 million or even 52 million that we have alluded to the staff. So, Chair, I think let us not gloss over this issue of pending bills or trade payables, because it is what is eating counties. And we have situations, Chair, where fictitious payments have been paid by some entities. So we cannot just close. And finally, Chair, it would be prudent in future that this schedule of employees should not only be a one line of saying people work with the governor's office, cry to or to other staff. Who are these other staff? And these a lot of millions of shillings, is 52 million shillings, Chair. So we need to put the name to the money, so that that money and accountability can be put into focus, because this is a public money that must be held into account. So the issue of gratuity, Chair, I don't think it is a privilege to any person. They must be paid as a matter of right that has been provided legally. Chair, on the pending bills of 2.5 billion, 2.56 billion, Chair, I recommend that the county must provide us with a payment plan. I am aware the control of budget is here. Provide with us who are these people. We have seen situations where people have 100,000, 200,000, 50,000 Kenya shillings have been owed. It means a lot to them, Chair. And that is why, you know, I heard some people saying the other day, the Nyota program giving people 22,000, 50,000 is small money. But there are some counties who they owe up to 20,000, 50,000, Chair. So, Governor, as you go back, this 2.5 billion belongs to Kenyans, and there is no option. You must pay. You must pay. And it is good you are friends with Sifuna. Sifuna should advise you to pay. I think that would be the easiest way. If you want us, and maybe in Luya language, so that this thing can be...
Order, Senator.
Mr. Chairman,
order.
I can respond in Luya.
No. I know in certain parts of the country when it gets to 1:30, the only thing people are hearing is a smell of something. So I think let's get back to the English, otherwise we'll start thinking about lunch.
Yeah, I think, Chair, we cannot flog this maybe further, but you need to give some direction. We've given this issue of pending bills a lot of prominence, because it's an important thing. I remember one time some 9 senators, me included, jumped to the former CS's office, Ukuri, to try and advise him to stop releasing funds to counties.